Hello, this is my sermon reflecting on the reading from the Gospels about the sower going out to sow. When God's Spirit sets something in motion, it may begin slowly or seem to stop, but it always has its effect. When I was a small child, I was born and lived in Uganda. In Uganda, there are, amongst many other things, mosquitoes. The ones that give you malaria. Malaria comes in three forms. In the best one, you have parasites in you, but you don't really notice. The next one is a bit more nasty. You have a week or two of nothing, followed by fevers, chills, sweating, and headaches for a week or two or more. And the third one, the very nasty one, is anemia, organ damage, low sugar levels, fatigue, kidney damage, coma, and death. Generally, there's some overlap. I now just have light lingering symptoms. I'm more prone to fatigue and low blood sugar, but Lucy says she thinks I'm just a bit lazy. However, the blood donor people told me to go away and never even think of donating, ever. Faith is perhaps a bit like this, except for the go away and never, don't even think of donating ever. In Jesus' parable about the sower, there are 4 levels of catching faith. The first one, when faith crosses your path. Something happens, or something you hear or read actually makes you suddenly ponder that there is more to life than just getting through it. It is as if you get to glimpse behind the curtain and see the wonder, the complexity, the amazing beauty and detail of it all, and how this upholds your life, feeds you with vitality, and offers you transforming love. Wow, you say, that is so cool. And you're just about to sit down and enter into the wonder and the vibrancy of this when the phone rings. It's Gary. He's coming over with friends. Yeah, because you really like Gary. And he's the coolest person and you need to get some beers in the fridge. And you'll get back to this face thing or whatever tomorrow morning, maybe. The second's like it. That one you nearly caught a bout of faith, but you got distracted. The second is the story of a person carrying damage. You've been hurt before. You've been promised before. You have been abandoned, lied to, deserted, and left behind before. Your inclination to trust is low, and generally you want to see the goods before you open your wallet, and you want a guarantee with the purchase. You are cautious, and you have thick skin verging on a shell. The invitation to life held in God's hand seems so attractive. You might never need to second guess people. You might be safe. You might be protected. You might be able to trust again. Yes. You might be able to take off the armor and love. It might be safe to try again. And just as you are about to step into mid-air with trust in God, you remember how your dad let you down. That day he promised he'd be there for you. You were left alone, shamed, powerless, and weeping. Then another example of trust comes up, and another, and the dusk of fear gathers around you, and you close the doors and the windows of your soul again and switch off all the lights. You were nearly healed by faith, but scars, the memories of pain are so deep, and you dare not let faith in. I have friends who've taken the third path. Often in teens or early adulthood, you make friends with someone who is really, genuinely nice. This guy will lend you his car. He'll show up when asked. He has friends who want to meet you. And guess what? They all go to this little new church which is all about Jesus and not about old buildings and politics and money. It's just about living God's way. And you just have to come on Friday. And for about a month or so, you are whirled off your feet. Your old friends don't recognize your new self. You don't hang out with your family because, well, your new crowd wonder if they're on side or saved. Between the new friends and the old ones and the parents and your loopy but lovely brother, how do you choose? You could step back and see levels of love and care in all of these folks, but it's hard. And as you realize how hard it is to decide and where you'll put your money, you begin to stay home with the lights down and the ringer off on your phone. You have a drink and watch TV, and the show is about somebody being scammed, and you think, yeah, just never trust them. Don't let them in. You let the hard shell of distrust keep you safe. Maybe not happy, but at least safe. There are moments in your life when hinge moments come, they're called. When you are in change. You are between old youth and young adult. You're out of work and waiting for an opening. Someone to care about has fallen in love and glows. And you watch them, and it's wonderful. Or it's COVID time and you're home and bored, and someone from church emails a sermon and you watch it, and wow, you never saw it like that before. And you feel like God's finger just stretched out and touched your heart and soul. That is a moment when you are still, unafraid, open, and there's space in your soul that's ready to receive a blessing. It's like facing 3 doors in a hallway. One opens into an office, another opens into a shopping mall, and the third opens into fields and a distant mountain. And at the doorstep, a path begins that leads you into a new country, a journey, a discovery to be made. You can see a few folks way, way on the trail. I've been waiting for this all my life, a tiny part of you says. You step through the door and close it behind you, and you begin the journey. This sounds a bit like the first three. It sounds a bit like the first 3 people didn't get it, and the last person did. And that's true. But there's another truth. Like malaria, every brush with faith, every touch your heart receives from the Holy Spirit leaves a little trace, a seed. I mean, I hope the Holy Spirit's not going to be offended if I've compared her to malaria, but just let's carry on and hope I don't get struck by a thunderbolt. It's like seeing mist rise or mist gather in a valley at sunrise. The mist will disperse, but the memory of it will never leave you. My malaria will never leave me, but it won't do me any good. But once God whispers a word into your soul, even if you bury it, ignore it, or forget it, there it stays, waiting, hoping, believing in you, waiting to do good, to sprout like a seed. For as the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return there until they have watered the earth, making it bring forth and sprout, giving seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that for which I purpose, and succeed in the thing for which I sent it. For you shall go out in joy, and be led back in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall burst into song, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of briar and thorn shall come up cypress. Instead of this shall come up myrtle, and it shall be to the Lord for a memorial, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. You are loved by God always and forever. And if you pay attention, you might turn and know that love falling upon you and step into it and be changed forever.